Data Tracer, who is a pretty big chud,
Dark
from what I
Lord of the
understand.
Sith.
Yeah,
Oh no.
I mean, that's a very funny play on words, I guess. But yeah, so he's upset because the lead writer and producer of the X-Men reboot, which is their new target, they're gonna fixate on that because it's the main thing that people got most excited about from the Disney Plus announcements, right? Is this
Sure.
X-Men not reboot, but it's like a continuation. And of course, as soon as that was announced, you had dumb takes like, "Oh no, X-Men's gonna be woke." What? Did you not pay attention to X-Men at all? Like, do you not know anything about it? Do you just know Wolverine's claws? Is that all you know about it? I don't know. But yeah, so lead writer and producer of the X-Men reboot on Disney Plus is having a meltdown about Kyle Rittenhouse, calls him a racist white supremacist, and
Hmm.
thinks all 20-year-old white males are potential mass shooters. Now, look, thinks all I'm willing to bet that that's not what they say. I'm willing to
Hmm.
bet that that is completely hyperbolic, and as far as a meltdown goes, that Data Tracer is the one having a meltdown. Let's see. The cynical inevitability of Rittenhouse verdict doesn't take out the pain of what this status quo racist bullshit represents, the terror it instills, and the lethality it codifies. Kyle Rittenhouse is a fucking murderer. Fuck white supremacy. No lies detected. So far, pretty uncontroversial to anyone who's not a white supremacist or
Oh
in or
well,
or what?
uh,
No, no,
I,
contradict me,
I
man. Come on,
I
let's
have
do it.
I have. Let's put it this way. I have a Destiny take on the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff.
Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, sorry, I do so. But I'm not going to be like this other guy either. I don't care what she says or thinks. It's like, look, let's put it this way: your favorite writer, whatever movie you watch, whatever comic you read, there's someone's going to have an opinion you just don't agree with. Just get over it. You know, just get over it. It's not a big deal. They're still good at what they do. They still have their talent, and they still and I don't think this is a big deal at all. But yeah, fuck white supremacy. I agree with that.
Well, just somebody asked me. I think a couple of streams now, people have asked me what my take on it is, and here's my take.
Hmm.
Um, I believe that Kyle Rittenhouse was in fear of his safety and maybe life. I believe
Sure.
that in that moment, he was afraid for his safety, and that means that if I was part of a jury, then I would convict him on maybe involuntary manslaughter or second, something. I'm not sure what it would be, but it wouldn't be first degree murder. I don't believe that he set out to murder people. However, he was in a situation. He chose to take an unlawfully possessed firearm across state lines into a situation that was known to be violent and chaotic. Set aside the politics, what side you're on. If you take a firearm into a situation that you know that there's a good chance that you might use that firearm, and then you put yourself in the middle of a situation of, well, here's all these people that are my perceived enemies, or at least the people that if we take benefit of the doubt, his word for it, he's trying to protect this business from, or whatever. It's just really, really, it's a self-created circumstance. Now, he's also 17 years old.
Yeah.
And it seems like, honestly, his mother might not be delicate about this. She seems like maybe she's not the most cognizant person. And all of these factors. Do I think that Kyle Rittenhouse set out to murder anybody? No. Do I think Kyle Rittenhouse is a literal white supremacist? No.
No.
However, he has been palling around with the Proud Boys. He has been made into a symbol for
Yeah.
the far right. And unfortunately, no matter which way the verdict would have gone, they would have used it. It would benefit the right. Had he been convicted, which was really never going to happen, had he been
Yeah.
convicted, because the prosecution, yeah, like this Draven says, the prosecution was fucking stupid in that whole thing.
The prosecution was Kyle's best defense.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Well, other than the judge, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't going to get convicted, but let's say he did, then he would be a martyr. He would be a martyr to their cause. He would be on T-shirts. He would be, you know, free Kyle Rittenhouse would be a hashtag. You know, or Kyle did nothing wrong. You know, those would be the hashtags we'd be seeing in that alternate universe where he was convicted. But instead, which was what the most likely thing that was going to happen, he got off, and still he's a hero now, and he's a hero in a different sense. So rather than be a martyr, and this is what fascism does, man. Like they will manipulate any set of circumstances to their benefit. It's dishonest. It's inherently dishonest because they know they can't win by just the bare optics or the bare arguments on their own merits. They have to distort things. I've talked about this fucking the other day, talking about, you know, how Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, you know, fell in line with that alt-right meme of manipulating and distorting the context of the Black Panther film to make it appear as though it's alt-right and favors his fascist politics, because that's what that is. You can argue with me about any other person that I call a fascist, and I understand that I would have to make a much more articulate argument to convince you that that's what they are. But Jeremy Griggs shared a meme that one of the boxes that was checked that he's in favor of was anti-democracy. Okay? When you flat out say you're anti-democracy, you are a fascist. And I don't need to argue that point in his case. He admitted it by saying he's anti-democracy. So,
yeah.
Anyway, oh, wow. Yeah, Charlie Feldman really is going off, huh? Oh, see, okay, here's the disingenuous framing already. Okay, so here's from the other day. This is when that was, and then this is tweeted from the verdict day. So that's one tweet that they had something to say, that Charlie had something to say about Rittenhouse recently. Yeah. But then look at the dates on all these. And this is framed as they're having a meltdown, which implies it's all happening right now. They're like tweeting nonstop about it or whatever. But no, the dates are all over the place. From
Some of them don't even have anything to do with Kyle.
Yeah.
That last one, gendered me. What?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it has nothing. You're right. It has nothing to do with it. Oh, and
what the fuck?
Oh, and then here's one just about Black Lives Matter. Yeah. So this is all just fascist framing of anything that is pro BLM is bad. Anything that, you know, challenges the hierarchy of, you know, white people. And I don't know if anybody in my chat needs me to go over this. I don't know. I know based on my analytics that a lot of you watch Vosh, and you know, he's better explaining this type of stuff than I am. A lot of you watch the Surfs. Lance is really good at explaining stuff. When I say white supremacy, I hope you know that I'm not being hyperbolic and like calling these people literal, you know, marching down the streets in Klan robes and you know, burning crosses and stuff like that. White supremacy is a system. I'm part of it. I benefit from it. I mentioned this the other night talking to Mark Brooks that I've had legal trouble in the past that I'm relatively confident that if I was not white would have gone a very different way for me. And that my life would probably be, if not ruined, it would have been knocked off track big time for a long time. So yeah, when I say white supremacy, I'm not being hyperbolic and just accusing people of being Klansmen or you know, having swastika tattoos or anything. I'm talking about people that don't admit that is a system in which we exist. They refuse to acknowledge that they benefit from that system over people of color. That's what I'm talking about. What do you feel about that, Perp? Do you disagree? I know you're more of a and chat. You might be interested to know this. Me and Perp, we come from a bit different, little bit different political spheres.
Yep.
Perp is a Destiny guy.
I'm a Destiny fan. Sorry.
I'm more of a Vosh guy for sure. I mean, I don't really watch Vosh as much anymore as I used to.
I do like Vosh for certain issues. I do watch a lot of his stuff. There's just some issues I think I prefer Destiny's point of view.
I mean, yeah, and I like a lot of what Destiny has to say. The main reason I don't watch him more is because he just talks too fast for me. But yeah, so that's where we come from. we come from slightly different angles on there. What do you think whenever about what I just said about the white supremacy as a hierarchy and social system? Do you agree with any of that? Do you disagree?
I agree. I totally agree. I think the whole systematic racism thing is real and all that. I don't question any of that. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you had like this phrase that I really liked of how you said Nazis put on suits now, right? Like something
Yeah.
like that. You said something like that. That's a good euphemism, if that's a euphemism. I'm
Yeah,
not
they,
sure.
they took off the hoods and the robes, and they put on
Yeah,
they put on three-piece suits and wingtips, and
yeah.
they styled their hair, and yeah.
They try to
Um,
look presentable. Yeah,
yeah, to normalize it, to take advantage of the social and cultural upheaval that is partly created by them anyway, but like that way they can get their foot in the door with the cultural conversation again, because nobody's going to listen to a Klansman. Nobody's going to listen to a guy with a swastika tattoo on his fucking forehead.
yeah.
Uh,
In fact, they completely disavow. Like apparently, Klansmen are Democrats now. Is that right?
yeah, that's another historical, not a revision, because it is accurate that the Klan came out of the Democrat Party,
Yeah.
but the thing that they like to completely ignore is that there was a party switch in
Yeah.
the mid 20th century. There was the Southern Strategy,
Southern strategy. Yep.
which caused basically what do you call it? Fucking words. It's an exodus of conservatives from the Democrat Party to they started catering to more far right types of ideals in the South and stuff like that. And it's basically you just ended up with the parties doing a flip flop. So like when they say that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, okay, that's true, but what a Republican
Wait,
was then is not what a Republican
yeah.
is now.
Does that mean that mean the Democrats were the baddies? Does that mean that flag is our flag? That's our flag?
I don't want it. I don't want it.